Kill the radio star. Video kill the radio star. This was the very first song, I believe, that they played on
MTV.
MTV.
Also, for some ridiculous reason, those two guys went on to become members of the band Yes.
Holy mackerel!
I wanted to kill myself right about that time when they lasted about 2 years. I saw the band Yes probably 7 times in concert. One of my favorite bands. They used to do it in the Round in Philly with the spinning stage.
Yeah,
So when the Buggles joined Yes, I went to see them because I went to see them every time they came to Philly. It was the only time I bought cheap seats because they're always sold out. We literally walked down to the front row, us and the other 400 people that filled this 50,000 person arena, because it was so bad. It was the worst concert I ever saw in my life. They were terrible. They're big hits. The Roundabout. They play the beginning of Roundabout, and then they go into like a Buggles tune. I was like, I wanted to.
What year was that? When do you remember?
Oh my God, I don't even know.
Were the Mummers there that day?
No.
I went to a concert, Yes, in Philly, and the Mummers were there. They were throwing shit at them on the stage.
The Mummers might have been invited, but I don't blame them for not showing up. It was the worst concert I ever saw. They were in the round. The stage is spinning, and there's like 4 people on one side of the stage because nobody would go. And then it was right after that they kicked the Buggles out of the group. So. Then they came out with 90210 or 9025, whatever. And then it had a real band again with Chris Squire and those guys. But oh my God, it was such a horrible concert. Anyway, how did everybody like Steve on the radio? That was awesome. I
didn't see it, unfortunately.
I was watching on the way home from dinner.
I'll admit, Steve was a very good ambassador for the hobby. And I will say this too. I know where the phrase, a face for radio comes from. Because they should have, yeah. If they had darkened the room a little bit more, it might have been perfect. But anyway, he was good. Steve was good. He might be calling in. I sent him a link, but tonight we got Greg Papalo, long awaited. They start asking questions about the next FH hunt the day after the previous FH hunt.
Yeah.
So Greg, tell us, and I've got pictures, but you got to give me a minute to load them up.
No, that's fine.
But tell us about the long-awaited FH9.
Yeah. Well, where do I begin? The city dates back to 1853. It's a small. You know me. I always pick the small towns. Usually within an hour or two, but we had some hiccups this year trying to get property. First, we were going to do South Carolina, and then we couldn't get any properties to lock onto. So I said, well, we'll stay in Florida, and then next year we'll do South Carolina. And yeah, I know, Barb. Sorry, I would have done it in February had we had the land. But we had another place we were supposed to get some fields, and the guy was sure he'd get us some property. Every landowner was like, no, what about my cows, my horses? No, and sometimes things just don't work out. But we're in a small town. It's about 15 miles out of Gainesville, or about 14 miles out of Ocala.
Hold on, Greg.
Yep.
Hey!
Steve-O.
I'm going to watch and see what you guys said about me.
Yeah, he already threw a couple of digs in about a face for radio.
You didn't hear the opening song by the Buggles. Video killed the radio star. You did very good. You did good.
Yeah. Don't worry. I told him what I really thought of you after the show ended.
How do you like that that high tech radio facility out in the woods of South Jersey?
Oh, let me tell you. I wonder if I can turn my. I guess I can't turn the camera around, but here, wait. You can almost see it.
There you go.
I thought I was in your coop again.
I was gonna say it looked like Frank's backyard.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
does.
It's like a mile deep in the woods. We had a homicide out there years ago, and it's such a big radio facility that if the janitor didn't come in, I don't think they would have ever found the guy.
Oh my! But no, Steve Tatz, the interviewee or the radio host, really nice guy. It was fun. It was fun. Did I look goofy?
No, it looked good. It looked good. It's all right. Well, I mean, it would have looked better if the camera was off you, but not much we could do about that.
Or
But
Frank was there.
If I was there, it would have been a lot more successful.
So, have you been running this show for 2 hours?
No. I just posted the link, and then people were watching it live on the DA page.
I thought you were going to go on and beat me up during the show.
No, I had stuff I had to do. I was beating you up pretty good in the chat.
So you wait on what chat? Which chat was it?
Facebook.
On their page or ours?
Well, I put their link on our page. So you can go to their page and look at the video. I saved the videos on our page too. So
Yeah, because I'm sure I'm going to need to get some retribution out of this.
yeah, okay.
All right, listen, just block me out for now, and go and talk to Greg. You know what? Take me out. Talk to Greg. When I get home, I'll sign in.
Okay.
It's only going to take me a half an hour, so I'll be back.
I don't know. It always took me an hour and a half to get to your house. I don't understand that.
Yeah. All right. I hate you. Goodbye.
Now, Greg, I'm gonna put some pictures up as we go along.
All right.
I got to admit, I'm pretty intrigued about this site.
Yeah, the property itself, I did a little map research and a little bit of history. And it was actually the location was given to me from another club, the Ocala Club, had a small little hunt out there with like 10 people or whatever, how many it was. It's about 115 acres, give or take, but it's about 90% open land. They have like one really big patch of trees and woods, and the state of Florida actually goes out to this property every few years to measure the trees because they're that old.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I learned that. I was out there for 2 hours the other day riding around on a golf cart talking with the guy, and he was, because they've done so many charities events. They're known in the state of Florida and pretty much the Southeast for, now they're doing Jeep events too, I found out. But for all these kids events, they do a Christmas event, a Halloween event. Halloween Horror Nights has actually sent people up there to kind of collaborate and get ideas. And
well, so to satisfy my personal interest, how old are these trees?
Well, he didn't tell me how old they are, but I would probably say several hundred years old. Yeah.
Now I'm even more intrigued.
Oh, yeah. Well, that area itself and the population of the town is only, well, the last census, I think they were like 3,200 people.
Wow.
I work with like 5 of them at Home Depot.
Those buildings that are in that picture,
They were built.
they came later on.
Yeah, they're part of the theme because they also do an event there with like cowboys and stuff, and they do like the train that's there.
Yeah. Because I saw the train, I saw looked like the old Wild West building, and then I saw the carousel, which didn't fit into the scenario at all.
Yeah, no. And you didn't see the Ferris wheel, did you?
No, I didn't see the Ferris wheel.
No, I thought. Well, Maria was at the car for like the hour and a half taking photos, so she sent me a bunch of photos. I only took 5 or 6 photos myself because the ride on the back of the golf cart had me kind of holding on.
Like the carousel and the Ferris wheel and that stuff. Do they use those, or they just for looks? They operate. That's cool.
Yeah. So
cool.
All right, so the long-awaited. I know some people are like, "Hang on." Someone's asking if I mentioned where it was. No, I will do that right now, Jen. I see you asking, and I've had people. I have people that are writing. People that know me, and like, hey, I really want to know.
I don't understand. They know you're going to tell them at some point.
Yeah.
And yet you sit there on a page and you go, "Don't ask me," and they go, "Okay, but where's it at?"
Yeah. And then, it's all right. And I know Scott Bird was running like a defensive lineman for me and trying to deflect people off of me, But
yeah, but the problem is that the more Scott Bird does that, the more I'm going on there going, "Yeah, but where is it, Scott?"
Yeah, it's gonna be in Williston, Florida. It's at a place called Kirby Family Farms.
Oh, okay, Kirby, I get you.
Yeah, remember we talked about the Kirby part before?
Yeah, well, because Mark Hoover has been on a couple of shows this past week, and one of the running jokes was because his name is Hoover, he used to go by the alias of Dyson Kirby, the two different vacuum cleaners. Now, when you said Mr. Kirby signed on, I was like, Mark Hoover?
Yeah, so they've had that their families had that farm for quite some time. They appropriated the land a while back to have to make a place for kids to learn about trains. They have various trains out there. They actually have the largest collection of Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey Circus train cars in the Southeast U.S.
Oh, no kidding. That's
Nice.
cool.
Yeah.
The place sounds you know what? And besides the Technic stuff and all that's cool, that kind of stuff is cool to walk around and look at.
Yeah.
And I just remind everybody.
Yep. The
several 100-year-old trees, guys.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, there was on that property, if you do your research, and Frank, I'll send you the picture later to show you. I didn't want you to show it on the screen here, give my secrets away. I went back and there was three homes within that property. They owned a field up front, but that field right now is leased to a farmer.
Right.
So it probably won't be ready, but that would have been an extra 80 acres we could have had.
Right.
But maybe, who knows, maybe something happens and the crops don't come up, or I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
They mysteriously get poisoned in the night. I don't know. You never know what could happen.
Yeah. So there was a home on the 1900 map, 3 homes actually on the 1900. So the home had to be there prior to 1900.
Prior to, exactly.
And then in 1930, the homes were still there, and then then it was a more newer, just newer aerial photos where you can see where the farm had started to build. They've got that place where the Ferris wheel is. That's like when they have their events. They have food. They're going to have food for us. They've got cotton candy. They've got all kinds of concessions.
They do all that stuff. They got all that infrastructure together already.
Yeah.
This is going to be fun, dude. This sounds like it's going to be a ball.
And and we were talking yesterday, and we were talking about maybe even having a petting zoo. Only reason is because it's going to be, they're going to have I don't want to skip a spot and miss my, kind of not say something, but there's going to be a fee for the event for us, for detectorists. And then he doesn't know what the, because they deal, when they do their events, they have 2,000 to 5,000 people a weekend run through that place. So they're used to handling the numbers. They don't think, they might see a couple hundred, but he's going to put a thing on their website too. So that's going to help us. And you'll be able to, I've got to get with him tomorrow just to double check. You're going to be able to pay for I can't think of the word, for metal. There'll be a link for metal detectors to pay.
Right.
And then there'll be a link for, I can't think of the word he used now. Like the general public that want to come out,
like transients that want to come in and go and use.
And they're only going to be allowed to be where the grandstand is, where all the food is, like the carnival area. And then
now you're talking about a petting zoo. You understand, right? That Steve has a restraining order against him for petting zoos.
I'm just trying to find
it out there.
The petting zoo is for the children.
Yeah, and Maria's like, the petting zoo is for the children.
Yeah, exactly. You can't separate Steve from that mentality. So.
Yeah, they're going to have the train running. The train goes around the entire middle of the property or on the outskirts.
Dude, I'm not even going to detect. I'm going to go on the rides and the train.
And we're also going to have a tram for the detectors to go from one side to the other if they don't want to walk.
Oh, you know what? I'm moving there. I'm going to buy a summer home there.
You can ride the train around.
I can ride the train. Ron,
Yo,
all you old timers, you'll be able to go on a train and go back and forth across the park. It's perfect.
Yeah, we were talking about that while we were out there because I honestly, when you look at the aerial of the map, which I'm still working on, they don't actually have a physical map like I would have thought they would have had one for being an attraction, but
Yeah, right.
they don't. So I've got to make one.
Don't worry. You've given out the name. There's going to be 500 physical maps drawn up in the next 24 hours.
and there'll probably be people hunting that place in the
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He lives on site, so ain't no one's gonna, and it's all gated. You'd have to walk a little bit to get in there. There's a Lime Rock Road. You got to go for about almost a mile to get in there.
Sure. Give them directions on how to get in. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You got to go back.
When you get to the end, turn left, and the 300-year-old trees are on the.
Show them now.
You might as well put some pictures.
Yeah, I
on
heard you.
to show
I got like Frank. I got like Steve over here in the living room yelling at me to say certain things.
them.
He's like, "Don't forget this and don't forget that."
That's it. I gotta tell you, I'm gonna download. I'm gonna try and upload these pictures, but it's a nice big open field, nice big path. I'm gonna go back to these trees. These trees are they like big?
Yeah, you need several people to go around a couple of them.
So just so people know, when you have a big wooded area and you have all these trees growing, trees don't get big if they're in the middle of a dense woods. They get high. Trees get big when it was cleared, when it was cultivated, when there was stuff maybe there.
Yeah.
So I just so everybody knows, the trees are off limits unless there's a special permit. You have to pay me for it.
Yeah, the Friday night, our meeting, the schedule of events is we have our meet and greet. It's going to be there in Williston as well. I worked with a local business there. It's a new community park that they put together. It's like a bar / cornhole / they have axe throwing. They just started axe throwing.
I saw that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I watched these kids in there. I mean, it's keeping kids off the streets. There was a bunch of high school, a bunch of neighborhood kids in there. It's $20, but you get it for an hour and you throw knives and axes and
I think that's awesome. Let's get the troubled youth off the street and put sharpened implements in their hand.
Yeah. I definitely wouldn't want to be around a bunch of metal detectors throwing axes. I'll tell you that much.
They were really nice and they were really excited. I said, I got a guy named Frank. He's been on a chartered expedition, and they were like, I had the owner of the property comes over.
After they got over their excitement, what did they say?
Yeah. Oh, it's in May, but they thought it was going to be sooner. And I was like, no, I wish. But and they're open till midnight for those, it's not, we only got like a couple hours. We have, it's going to be like 6 to midnight, so give or take, we're going to, close the place down.
I'm trying to find your pictures, Greg, because I saved them in a special file. And
they're expanding, and I'll tell you what, you got to buy the cheesecake.
Okay, I'm sold. You don't even have to tell me anything more about it.
I used to drive out there just to buy the cheesecake. It's about 15 miles from Gainesville. You get off the interstate and one shot right there, boom.
So tell me, are these the trees?
That's some of them, but that's not the other one I sent. I think I sent you a picture of. Was it the bigger tree by itself?
That's a distinct possibility. Hold on, let me.
Yeah, that's my picture.
Let's.
Yeah, that's a Maria picture. She's claiming that one. That's why you see the glare through the glass.
Hey, Maria picture might be the only one I got. I don't know. Hold on. Let's see.
You had to have gotten all the other ones because
but that doesn't mean I downloaded them.
Oh.
I may have missed a couple.
Oh,
We're gonna sleep outside.
yeah, that works. There's a Ferris wheel. I wish she took a picture of that. Unless she
I
did.
did.
She's gonna make me look.
Celeste is very excited about the
Merry-go-round.
the merry-go-round.
Yeah. And of course, Maria's going to be doing a kids hunt out there. We're going to have everybody, all the vendors and everything. That open area that where this is, all the vendors are going to be in there. I'm waiting to hear back from Steve Moore. I know they were trying to figure out who they were going to send and what they were having their usual yearly meeting.
I know KG and Ringy were asking us about it when it was,
Yeah.
and if we were going and all.
Yeah, I know.
I got information to little kids metal detectors.
Anybody got any duct tape?
Metal detectors for children.
Tell her she wants to talk. She got to get her rear end on camera.
Yeah, you want to talk? You said, "Get behind me, little Miss Steve."
No, you tell it.
Yeah.
You
No,
tell it.
I know.
Yeah.
But Delec's already committed. She said we'll be there. She was the first one to get back to me.
I hope she shows up.
Yeah,
I hope she
and
shows up.
Deb. I swear to God, I'm gonna get duct tape in a minute. I'm the Steve for the show tonight. I got a wife that won't stop talking in the background. Yeah, that's a field towards the back. That's the actual train line that comes in.
See, I wasn't sure that's an actual working train.
Yes,
I thought
that's
they just set it up on.
It's like from the 1800s. It's an 1800s locomotive, and they worked on it. They restored it, and they brought it back to life. And they have like 4 cars they attached to it.
That is so cool.
And it goes completely around. Now, obviously, with him and I talk, they're going to paint a line like a couple feet out from the train track line. You're not to go dig beyond that.
Right. Yeah.
So that was one of the things his safety guy was talking about. It was myself and him and his right-hand man. We were riding around and kind of pointing out stuff.
Really, people digging out that berm and the train falling over.
Yeah. They have another train line. The original train line ran through the property, but that's long since gone. That was through Williston, but they built another one that's what they have housed on the Barnum and Bailey train cars. They're going to be doing something in the future. I don't think it'll be ready by the time our event happens, but because I had asked, I said, well, maybe you can let people pay to do a tour or something. Now that's where the food concession is to the left of that photo where you see the tables.
Now,
Obviously,
this is like the Wild West theme.
Yeah, because they do a thing because south of here in Ocala, there was a place called Six Gun Territory. It was an amusement park, and they got a lot of stuff that was originally there, and they moved it here, and they do a 6-gun shootout with cowboys, which is actually at the end of the month. At the end of January. And I'm probably going to go out there. I might go live from there, and maybe he'll drive me around so we can go live on the page and people get to see a lot more. I tried to take some photos. I wanted to have something for you guys to show. So,
and then this is now the meet and greet is how far from here, or is it here, or what?
The meet and greet is about 2 miles from here. You got to go. This place is literally on the outskirts of Williston. The meet and greet location is about as soon as you get into town from Gainesville, it's right there on the right.
Now
then
this
you got to
photo
go into town. What's that?
This photo is this the meet and greet location?
It's gone.
There we go.
Oh, that's one. That's one of them. That's just where the cornholes are. To the left of that, they have like 3-4 buildings this size. The bar, there's a whole nother one underneath it. To the right of it, where the bar and the restaurant, they've got 2 food trucks that are incorporated into their business there, and there's burgers and tacos, and they also have a late night menu they're starting now. They just started it this past week. So they're going to have, burgers and tacos and fries and cheese sticks. And, they've got, like I said, they got the bar. They just, I think, recently got their regular liquor license. Before it was just beer and wine, but now they're making like wine slushies. And
so on top of this, now there's a liquor license. So what else about this place isn't like absolutely perfect?
It's actually got they actually build. You ever seen the little people homes, like the little square little homes they built?
Yeah,
they've got a bunch of those. This guy has something to do with those, and a lot of these buildings, which you can't see, which I don't think I sent you the photos, but they might have been in a couple of the others. They have these little cubicles, like there's the cheesecake and candy store. There's a clothing store. There's a wine store. I mean, they're just these little hole in the wall little things. So it kind of, and they're always growing. There's always something being added. The axe throwing just recently got finished this past, like 2 weeks ago, I guess.
This is one of my favorite pictures right here. I'm going to tell you why. Oh, I keep doing that. Hold on. Because it looks like over here, they're on the right side, they're serving alcohol, and then on the right, they're handing you sharpened axes. I think that's awesome.
Well, no, there's no alcohol being served. I mean, you can bring your drink in there with you, but the bar is to the left of our picture here.
I just saw these two gentlemen on the right there with what looks like alcoholic beverages.
Yeah.
This is going to be fun.
This place is about 5 times the size of One Love, where we had the other one.
Right.
And I'm including the grassy area. I mean, you pull in, they've got a huge parking lot. I mean, you probably could fit 200-300 cars in it. They may even have a car show, or they may have a band. They're trying to get a band for us because we're such a large group. They may even open up their they're starting to build a private event area. That should be done by the time my event kicks off. They may let us use that. Maybe I can talk about it. But basically I told them, you run business like usual. We're just here to give you the business and meet and hang out.
I think that to have an area that is set up for this, and they have the infrastructure to cook food and have it has to make life a lot easier.
That's like the happening place of like a town of 3,300 people, or give or take. You know, that's everybody.
Cool.
Everybody's there. Of course, we won't need fire pits, but they have these big AC units like they see on the football fields.
Yeah.
They've got those off to the side, so when it gets warm, they blow those in there.
See what I'm talking about? Guys worried about it being hot in May. Guess what? They got air conditioning units on the field. I'm telling you, I may have to rent one of those huts out and live there.
They're still building. It was actually an old Winn-Dixie, and they blocked off where the old Winn-Dixie was. That's on the right side. You pull in, man, all you see are the big gazebo, like the big aluminum frames, you know, of the roof.
Now, who do we have vendor-wise? Who is locked in? Or do we have anybody locked in this early?
I know Deb recently wrote back to me. Russ was planning on attending from First Texas. I mean, none of them are 100%, but you know how they've always supported the last few years. So
yeah.
They're just Russ is trying to figure out, you know, trying to plan his road trip. And same thing with Deb. She had said that, you know, she's got to see where she's going to be and then time frame wise.
Right.
We're still waiting to hear from Steve, you know, Steve Moore. But D-Leg was the one that says we'll be there. They're pretty much locked in. And I know that for the children's event, I know she'll take care of us with a couple of detectors for the kids event.
Yep.
We're going to have, like I said, Maria's going to have an area set up, and the public will have access to our vendors, which, you know.
Well, when Maria has her area all set up and she's tending to the kids, you can stand on the side and yell stuff into her.
What did you say?
Get me in trouble.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you're not in New Jersey anymore, Frank. She'll get in the car and come down there and wooden spoon you. Yeah.
I'll take you coming down.
That was the word I was looking for. Spectator, because
that's cool. Go around and enjoy all the amenities.
Yeah, but they're going to be able to ride the train and around the property and see us detecting. So they're trying to kind of like, this is something that they've never done. So I have the range as far as the detecting side of it.
Dude, I think this is going to be amazing. As much as I love going to Soldiers Freedom Outdoor, and I love that place. This is geared towards, you know, you're geared towards the kids. You're geared towards people that just want to come and see what's going on, and they can while they're there, they can ride a train. They can have a good time. This is a very cool.
And they're gonna be there Friday night. So if you want to pay by card, if you have an advance, you'll be able to get your wristband and your ticket at when you come into the property. You just tell them, hey, I prepaid, or print out an email off their website, or you can go when we're there Friday night. You can see Maria pay cash, or see the guys from.
Wait, we can see Maria and give her cash, or we can watch her pay cash.
Oh my God, where's Steve? I need some reflection.
Steve was driving home from my hometown where he had to go do the radio show.
Yeah, see, now she's laughing and I'm from losing my train of thought. I'm gonna duct tape you in a minute. You don't realize, she doesn't realize how loud the echo is in the kitchen.
I can hear it.
Yeah.
It's very loud. It's very loud.
Yeah, they're gonna have a square reader there. The folks from Kirby, so speed things up, or you'll just, whoever shows up Saturday morning will just have to go like in the regular line, say, hey, I'm here for, the metal detecting, you'll pay. Anybody that's not detecting, will have if they're like, if your husband wants to come or your wife, they'll have to pay the spectator fee unless they're one of my vendors. So
right.
If you're bringing your husband, your wife, and you're detecting, then you pay the detecting fee, which will be the same as it's always been. We're hoping to have
the next question. Do we know what the fee? Do we know what the cost?
It's going to be our standard 100 for the event.
$50 a day, basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And like I said, the second day we'll have we may have another location that might open up too on Sunday, and there might be a pre-hunt on Friday for the early bird. So, but I've got somebody that's organized those in the past for me, doing his homework, so he may do something the day before, because there's a lot of history in that area, and I have some coworkers that know people in town that have lived there all their life, and they may be able to get us.
Tell everybody. Remember 300-year-old trees, 150-year-old town. They didn't plant 150-year-old trees when they moved there, so the trees were there and big. They were big trees when the town was founded.
Yeah.
Just keep that in the back of your mind, guys.
And there will be, and the other thing too, I'm looking at my notes here. There will allow primitive camping in the parking lot. If I know there's a few people that were looking, they don't have any electric hookup or anything. So if you got a tent and you want to, I know there was some people, but now people saying, well, it's May, so they might just do a hotel because it'll probably be too mosquitoes. I'll tell you, I got attacked by a horde of grasshoppers. I have never seen a horde of grasshoppers. We were driving down past the train tracks, and I go, what are all these things flying up in the air? I mean, it was by the thousands. He's like, oh, those are grasshoppers. I'm like, I've never seen a horde of grasshoppers while we were riding around. I was the first.
I understand Frank's renting rooms at his house.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm staying in a tent. People can come and stay here. I'm still 2 hours and 15 minutes away.
You're about from Ocala, which is just 30 miles south of us, and then Gainesville. So you have the option of staying in Ocala or Gainesville. It's about maybe a mile difference depending on which state road you come down.
Right.
Because the people were like, well, we're literally right in the middle between both. So you have the options of staying in a hotel in Ocala or Gainesville, or your Airbnbs will be more a larger variety. From what I heard there are some Airbnbs outside that area that are reasonable.
I'm trying to contain myself. I like my house cool. So like it was in the mid 70s today. I turned my air on, and I wish I could turn this around because Celeste has this woolen fleece and fox fur thing around her neck. She's freezing to death. It's like 85 degrees in here.
Yeah.
66 degrees in here, but
yeah, I'm a comfortable 72 in here right now.
I could probably turn up a notch, but she looks like she's hiking the Arctic Circle. Well, I'm stoked. This place I think is going to be a gem.
Yeah. The first thing I said when I went in, I saw a big old carnival sign, like one of those windsock things.
Yeah. And
it said cotton candy. I was like, oh, are we going to have cotton candy? Oh, we're going to have popcorn. They're going to have, depending on the amount of people, depending on how many things of food that they do. Right. They have one really big concession, I guess, that they do food. And then they bring in some smaller food trucks sometimes. So depending, but the money will the money's raised are going to go in between the two charities, Soldiers Freedom Outdoors, and then the Kirby Farms with their children. That's why the logo. If anybody was wondering why the Florida Hunt logo had two kids holding hands, there was your little clue.
Cool.
So.
No, yeah, we will be all over this and generate some interest. I honestly think the location is going to sell it because I'm stoked. There's nothing like metal detecting and good carnival atmosphere, baby. I'm all in.
And the thousands of people that go through 5,000 people on a weekend on an event. So, I mean, besides the old stuff, you got all the stuff that
Now, when they're running this event, are they still open to the public for the regular public to come through and do stuff?
Oh, my event? Well, that's what the spectators are. They're allowing the general public.
So the general public who would plan a trip there anyway, they can still go through and do everything.
And they can go see that whole area where the food is, and they've got some little storefronts in there. They can go through all that. They just can't go. There'll be an area where the detectors will be out. I mean, heck, there's like 4 football fields, a parking lot.
Right.
That's all open field too. So I don't foresee us filling that up. But that large of a, they're going to handle the parking. I mean, they're pretty much. I actually get to maybe mingle and go around and
that's the thing. You know what? All of that food and that infrastructure is out of your hair. That's awesome.
And even on Saturday night, they're doing. At that place where we're going to be Friday night, Saturday night, they're doing some kind of beer fest. So if people if they like to go back there, I mean, if you're staying around the area, you got a place to go eat later. Because honestly, you got like a Hardee's or something. There's a really nice restaurant there, which is more of an upscale. It's called the Ivy House. But me, I'll have a few places lined up. If the group wants to go, I got to find somewhere.
You sold me at Hardee's, baby.
Yeah, but the town has. I'm trying to get some of the local folks and maybe get the local because they have a local police department, like a small town police department. I might even try to see if I can get the sheriff to come out or the chief, because I think it's a city police department. So, and just let them see, because I'm pretty sure they probably don't have a forensic team. They probably got to rely on the county to come out. So hey, you give them So
give me my card.
Yeah, when I was talking with Mr. Kirby when I was out there, we talked about. He said he had heard from people that had been out there all their life something about there might have been a cave on the property. He's been out there, I think, 30 years or something. He says I've never found a cave, but these people swear that there's a cave out there. So he just recently did a Jeep course out there where like your Jeeps go, intermediate course. If you're looking at the aerial, when you look at the map, you'll see something that looks like a bunch of like a race course or something. That's what that is. But I'll tell you what, I was looking at it from the air. I was a little worried when I got on the ground and I was standing there and we were driving around. I'm like, several hundred people could be out here and still be out here. And I'm going to be planting tokens.
100+ acres is nothing to sneeze at. It's a nice chunk of land.
Yeah, and considering about 90% of it's open, I mean, there's only a few patches of woods there for the most part. There's a couple wood lines, but they're going to mark off the edges because there's a working farm next door, just so no one goes where they don't belong.
Listen, if he has a general idea where that cave is, I may have room in my truck this year to bring radar.
Yeah, that's what that really. When he said that, I was like, man, I know just the guy that might be if it's below the ground, but you hear rumors, you hear stories. Right. Oh, there's a cave, and then but no one can tell him. Well, if you know where it was when you were a kid, why don't you know where it is now? So
exactly.
But,
I don't think you want a whole bunch of people crawling in that cave.
No. But I think he wants
to not tell anybody because
he can add it to his tour. I mean, because they, like I said, their Halloween event, their train ride has grown, and they have like the Haunted Woods, which that's where there's a little Wild West town in the woods, which I think might have been in the picture I showed you.
Yeah.
There's another one as you go through. It's all started with one little building like 20 years ago. And now it's grown into to these little buildings. I mean, it's got a look to it, you know. And then you got all the abandoned. He's got old military vehicle. Like on one side of the property, he's got a lot of old military vehicles.
Yeah, I
Like
saw that. Yeah.
they've acquired, and buses. There's a car. We were driving, and as we're heading back to where Maria was parked, we're going back, and there's a Mercedes in a tree. I mean, like at the top of the tree. Like, how is he even up there? And he goes, "Oh yeah, there's a lot of cars and trees around here." I'm like, "What?"
Oh, I thought I didn't download the cars. I thought I downloaded all the vehicles.
No, I don't know. Oh, trying to think if I'm forgetting anything. I've gone like different paths, so I feel like I'm not sure if I'm forgetting something. No, that's the other section.
That's the bar.
That's the bar, and you see the little buildings behind it. They look like little squares.
Yeah.
There's different buildings. There's a confectioner's. There's a place that's got like literally. Have you ever been in a candy store with a bunch of jars with jelly beans and and that's where you get the cheesecake. The place that says Cork. That's a wine. They sell wine there. It's like or something related to wine. They're all local businesses that have popped up and opened up in here.
That's cool.
And they got the guy singing there on the right of the picture there. He was just there that night. But yeah, they got decent. I mean, they don't have seating for 200, but like I told her when I talked to the general manager, I'm like, most of us are busy walking around mingling. There's not many, Some of the older folks might be sitting down or people eating, but yeah. So it's going to be good stuff.
The next time you go out, take more pictures.
Yeah, now I can put them on the page in the event.
Try not to get those pictures with the big glare in the window. Not sure.
No glare in the window. No glare in the window. Roll your window down. I told her roll her window down.
And I think when you start getting a really good view of everything that's going on there, I think I think a lot of people are going to want to hang out there. It looks like a fun place, and on top of that, we got the big event going. That's going to be great. It's going to be a great weekend.
Yep, for sure.
And we will blast it all over the page, and anything new that comes up, you make sure you tell us.
Oh yeah, for sure. As soon as I get confirmation written in stone as the vendors, I'll be posting those on the. Everything will probably be mostly everything will probably go into the event tab, so that people that are actually going or thinking about going will see it.
Right.
The only thing that bugs the heck out of me is that chat that they have in there, and like I had to like mute it because my phone was going off every 2 minutes. Because people were writing in the chat in there.